everyone, my name is Notepad and on and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Today we're going to be working on Sword Bastards. Yes, we're going to be working on Sword Bastards, the preliminaries. Yes, the preliminary Sword Bastard experience. Let me just log into Miro because every time I forget to do this because I am a silly Billy. Because I'm a silly clown. There we go. Yeah, Sword Bastards. Yes, a game about cards. So, I was doing a little bit of work on Sword Bastards. I've been thinking about things. I've been thinking about Sword Bastards quite a bit. I've been thinking about card games more than anything. Do you know there's quite a few different card games out there? There's a lot of different varieties of games you can use cards for. Now, to help me out with this, I do have Tabletop Simulator open. Yeah, I just have this open for a variety of reasons. Most notably, just so I have a convenient deck of cards here to freely use when needed. But yeah, that's what we're going to be working on today. There's really nothing else fun, exciting, nothing too extravaganza filled. It's just going to be me working on a game about swords, cards, lots of cards. I bought a brand new deck of cards yesterday, and I've been slowly shuffling them religiously as I like to with cards. They do shuffle very nicely. They're not paper, they're plastic cards. And that means they're very, I'm going to say persnickety. Like, they're very smooth. And it's like, yeah, if I miss, like, one thing, they go everywhere. I know I'm going to have to keep their box really nice. But yes, we're going to be working on Sword Bastards. So, I've been thinking about things. I'm thinking. We all know that's a terrible idea. Now, thinking time is fun time, though. Generally speaking, if I expand this up, I've come up with 3 versions of resolution. There's 3 main ways of doing resolution that I've been thinking of. There is the reverse roulette, the beat me method, and the valuation method. These are my 3 ideas. All of them have their own problems and situations. Notably, the reverse roulette is probably the most esoteric one just because of the oddity to it, but it would be probably one of the easiest to actually get across. It's one of those weird things, like if you actually want a lot of nuance to the system, this is probably going to be the one to do. However, basic idea of the reverse roulette. GM declares the difficulty. You know, 1 color, same suit, within 5, within 4, 3, 2, 1, within 5, 4, 3, 2, or a single. Now, for those who don't know how roulette is played, the basic idea of roulette is that you're going to make a call. You're making a call at what you think this little tiny ball is going to land in. You can make, oh, it's going to be 1 color. It's going to be within a certain margin. It's going to be within a certain corner or something like that. Or it's going to land on a very specific one. Now, there is no such really thing that I could find. There might exist, but I don't know where to find it, of effectively card roulette. But reverse roulette works. So, let's do an example of what a reverse roulette would look like. Okay, let's hit this button. Go a little bit smaller here. Let's say, for example, here's my deck of cards right here. Now, let's say, for example, I'm going to draw my hand. Let's say, for example, it's going to be let's say it's going to be same suit. Whatever the lead card is, it's going to be the same suit. But let's say I have a 3 value on something. Like my attribute is 3. I'm going to draw 3 cards. And I'm going to flip them over. As you kind of see here, these are my cards. Ooh, not very good. Now, what we're going to see right here, I'm going to do one little roll here. This has 2 jokers in it, by the way. I'm going to grab the lead card and flip it over. As you can kind of see, I don't actually have the same suit. I would fail this check. However, I could burn stamina, when I could probably make it like health or something like that, to draw another card. Oh, this isn't good. I need to draw another card. Ooh, this isn't good. I need to draw another card. And it's like, at this point, it's like, I've burnt too much. I'll just take the failure on the check. Easy enough to understand. That is the basic of the roulette system. Now, we may do another kind of, let's say, for example, we want to do a one color. You know, we bring out the lead card. Let's draw our 3. Flip, flip, flip. All right, we got a good setup. And we flip the card, and it's just the same color. That means, hey, I've effectively scored 2 successes. I put my 9 and my 7 down. On top of that, I've successfully cleared whatever this is. It's not terribly difficult, though. It's just whatever the same color is. But if it was, again, same suit, ooh, that's not very good. If it's within 5, then my queen and my 9 here wouldn't work. But my 7, since 7 is within 5 of 8, of the, which 7 within 5 of 3 would also count. If it's within 4, it would count. If it's within 3, it wouldn't count, though. So it's kind of like one of those ideas. The GM's making the call, you're placing down the lead card. That is the basic idea of reverse roulette. It's like, okay, we want to quickly get the idea across. We go, oh no. This comes into the advantage of, hey, you know, what are like queens and stuff worth? They're going to be worth 10. They're going to be using blackjack rules. I can probably add a little bit of nuance there to kind of mix things up with it. That's the basic idea. Now, this brings us to beat me method. The beat me method. Beat me is easy to understand. Sounds unique and not too difficult to learn, so everyone pulls from the same deck. Do you shuffle when you run out of card or after every skill test? I would say after every scene. I would say at the end of every scene. I'm just doing an example right there just to make it a little bit easy, you know, kind of just to demonstrate. I would say at the end of a scene where it's kind of like, it's one of those moments like you might have multiple checks and it's just that, oh no, you know, you're still drawing a new lead card every time. That would be my thing. You're just drawing a new lead card constantly. And after you reach the end of the deck, then you would reshuffle. Kind of like, okay, fate is now kind of recorrecting itself. There is, and there should be, a little bit of card counting in this game. I'm okay with that when it comes to the roulette method. Where it's like, okay, we are coming within the idea here. And it's like, okay, you know, beat this. The only issue with the roulette method, the only issue is this. Is like, how would you do this and like, how would you rank the difficulty? I was just about to say like that. You can count the deck and the game, the cards a bit. That's always fun. Yeah, because I do plan. I was thinking about this, and this was going to be my my genius idea. I'm going to borrow a little from Kamigakari. Just a little bit from Kamigakari because I needed a way to be like, I need something to make the players feel important. So at the beginning of every session, what's going to happen is you're going to draw 5 cards. Or, you know, probably not 5 cards, probably equal to the number of sword bastards you have. Let's say we have a squad of 3. These are going to be here kind of in as a kind of a variant of fate right here. Anyone can grab one of these cards without paying a cost or anything. It's, hey, I'm going to take the 9, or you can swap them out. Let's say, for example, you know, we're making a stupid check or something, and I need a spades. I need a spades right here to succeed. Damn, I can't get that spades. But I see spades right here. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to put my diamond in there. I'm going to swap out these 2, then play the spades on top of there. I've succeeded. Everything gets discarded here. Everything kind of gets discarded here. Oh, damn, that's a crying shame. Or you can just take. It's like kind of just a little bit of, okay, here's just a little bit of fate to work with here. I think that would be, it would bring a little bit of little bit of controlled chaos to things, where you, the player, kind of know if this pops up, we're fine, but we have to switch it out, or we have to burn something. We have to give this up. It also means, hey, there's not a 10 in here anymore. There's one less 10. You could discard onto those 3 cards so they shift throughout the game. That might work. Again, this is all very preliminary. This is just kind of very, very simplistic. But this does bring me to the beat me version. Beat me, as you can kind of see, is a much simpler way of doing this. Your GM draws a number of lead cards equal to the difficulty of the check. Player must beat the value of the drawn set of cards. You just have to play the value of the drawn set of cards to beat each one of the raw values. All this, just beat me. The big thing here is that there's not really scaling successes, they're scaling failure. Now, let's say for example, let's say we're just doing a little bit of a challenging check. Something's going on. We draw our 2 lead cards. We need to beat a 7 and a 10. Ooh, this isn't looking too good. Let's draw our 3. And we can, if you kind of look at here, we're like, all right, we're looking here. I can beat the 10. I can beat the 10 reliably. That's all I can beat. These 2 cards do not beat anything else. Damn. What I was thinking about doing with this, though, is like, oh, you can merge your cards together to kind of try to beat something. It's just kind of like, oh, you can't beat everything at once. The beat me method is the easiest way to understand. It is quite literally, at its very core, just have a higher card. Just get luckier. You go. Let's just do, it's a 2 check. Oop. Roll. Oh. And we're like, all right, 4 beats 2, king beats queen. Easy enough to understand. You succeeded the check. If you can't do that, you just lose. It's kind of the scaling, how badly do you fail the check? You fail it by 3, it's a catastrophic failure. If you fail it by 1, it's kind of a minor failure, or it's like, there's an issue there. That's the idea of beat me. It's a lot simpler to understand. And it's also something that's immediately right there. It also plays a lot better. Hello, phone. It also plays a lot better into this idea over here. I'm going to reshuffle the deck. Also kind of plays a little bit easier over here. Joker notwithstanding. Each of them have like kind of some Joker rules. But it's like, yeah, make a 2 check here. It's like, well, this is a terrible example because I could just do that and win, but same idea kind of applies. That's that method. It's, again, not perfect, not the best, not the worst. It's very easy though. And why now, the thing is, why I'm kind of partial to this one is because of how combat's supposed to work, in my head anyway. Now, combat, for those who don't remember, let's draw out our little field here. We've got our 3 little areas. Now, what combat's going to do is you're going to draw a number of cards equal to whatever your combat score, whatever something like that is, plus a weapon, I don't fucking know. Let's just say, for example, you have 5 cards. Your opponent is going to have their hand as well, or the GM, or something like that. And you're going to look at, and it's going to be, let's just say, for example, we have initiative. We need to play our hand somewhere. We need to play one of our cards. Let's say we're going to put this right here. Yeah. Here. We go right here. They go right here. Put one right here. And then we do something like this. It's like, okay, here's the current situation. We resolve by going to the center first, and nothing happens because we blocked each other effectively. Then we go right, and then, hey, look, they perfectly blocked my attack. It's like we cling, 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 and then we resolve the other side. Hey, then we, they only drew defensive cards. They were easily able to beat my cards. That's kind of how I want combat to look like. Very snappy and very deadly. Very quick on the draw. Swords go out, clink, 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 done. And then you pull back. Because I want one bad strike, one bad set of one bad hand to be like, oh, I'm fucked. This is bad. That's why I was thinking about having that kind of those freebie fate cards off to the side, where it's like, I desperately fucking need that 10, and I don't want to give up any of the rest of my cards. I don't know what he has, but I know I have a 2, a 3, and a 2, and a 4. Like, this is bad. I am going to get hurt here. So it's like, okay, I'm going to draw from my fate a little bit. And we're drawing from the mutual kind of combined amount of fate. I place it down. I'm like, okay, I know what's going on. The problem is, this is the beautiful thing, the GM now knows. You're giving a lot of public information away by taking that card and placing it somewhere. Now, it's kind of like one of those moments of like, how confident do you feel? If the GM's like, oh, you know, it's like, oh, well, you've done this and you've done that. You might save your ass a little bit, but, you know, everyone flips and they had just a shitty hand as you did, or they double down because you just realized that this guy had a massive, he was bluffing the entire time. He didn't have anything there. That was one idea. Because the actual the actual sword combat game is pretty simple, all things considering. And I just want it to be, you draw your blade. What happened if you pulled a Joker during it? Currently, it is dependent on which of the two Jokers you get. Because normally in card decks you have the black Joker and the red Joker. My current idea is, you pull a red Joker, it's pretty much like you immediately go through. You knock out one of their defense cards immediately. If you pull a black Joker, you just eliminate one of their defense tokens, like defense cards. The other idea is perfect defense, perfect defense, perfect attack, where it's like, yeah, you just ignore all of their attack. You just ignore all of their defense. But the Joker doesn't do anything by itself. It's kind of that, it's a big gamble, but it's like, oh, hey, you put down the black Joker somewhere, suddenly their attack does nothing, and they overcommitted to an attack, and now it's kind of like, oh, I have parried you and now bashed you in the fucking noggin. Or it's, hey, I've pulled a Joker on your attack, and now my little 2 of hearts there, I just hit you through your massive amount of defense there that you dedicated a lot to. And now I've just done that little bit of damage I need to now set you up a little bit. It's like, by itself, you could probably just play this as a card game. Like, that's kind of the funny thing. Like, if you want to just play this as a standard card game, you can. What did I miss? I've made a card game. But yeah, that's currently the basic idea. The problem with this current method is awesome. I'll draw 2 hands just to make sure. I'm drawing them kind of weird, and I like drawing them to my hand like down here, just for the sake of clarity. Let's say, for example, that's my opponent's hand. You wouldn't be able to see things, obviously. Just note that. I'm trying not to. But yeah. So it's kind of like, the thing that I'm thinking about is the face cards. Part of me does not want to just remove the face cards from both of these methods, even. From both methods of basic resolution. That's like one of the ideas there. It's like, we just remove the face cards entirely. You just are going to have a standard 40, I believe. Yeah, you were just going to have a very standard 42, technically 42 card deck, and that's what you're just going to have to work with. But another part of me wants to be, you're going to use face cards to pull off actual, like, techniques and things. Like, if you want to pull off some fancy footwork, you're going to have to use this. But yeah, this is kind of like how, roughly speaking, I want the game to look like. And it's like, I want fights to have a little bit of gravitas to them. When you pull out your sword and somebody else pulls out their sword, things are going wrong. That's kind of the thing. It's like, okay, we've clearly established something is incorrect. Also, I'd like to thank Eric3473 for following. Yep. Whoops. But yeah, it's kind of like something has clearly gone wrong, and you need every advantage you can get, because that's one of the core facets of the game. I want to keep beating into the players. The best thing to do in an honest duel is to be dishonest. That's the best thing you can do. The best thing you can do is be dishonest. Cheat. Do whatever you can to win. Doesn't fucking matter. You want to pull out you pull out a knife in a fist fight? Cool. How do I represent that on the field using this? That's the current issue. How do you pull off technique? How do you pull off strikes? The more of the fancy pants stuff. Part of me wants to be, depending on your equipment, cards do something different. That is an idea. It's like, hey, if you're using a rapier, you can only put 2 cards in. If you're using a rapier, you can only put 2 cards into any side, to your left, or you only put 2 cards in your left or your right, but you can put as many cards as you want in your center, because you're going in for that big stab. If you're fighting someone with a rapier, you damn well know you're going to have to fight their center a lot more. So it's like, okay, that's a different spread to kind of think about. Versus a saber, which, hey, as a saber, you're not really going for stabs necessarily, so it'll be kind of reversed. Going like, hey, you're doing an axe. All your spades are, like, actually worth more. Hey, you got this, or you got that. To change, it would be, equipment is less about the raw numbers and more about how they change those cards in your hand. Changing the valuation behind things. And I want you, the player, when you draw that initial hand, to have a few ideas. And one of them should always be, leave. Fuck it. I don't want to be here anymore. I want to cheat. I want to do something that is very dishonorable or very, like an asshole, like just be a dick move, effectively. And it's like, all right, I wanted to put you over there. And it's like, oh, he wants to put that over there. He wants to do, and he might, and it's like, okay, you've placed down a bunch of these cards, and suddenly it's like, oh, all right. Even down, like, even part of me wants to put in, like, how do I, like, represent starting the fight early kind of thing. You know, not everyone's like, oh, you're fighting someone who's, like, a lot more skilled than you and has a lot more cards to play with. Like, don't let them put down things. If you've got a fucking 10, just immediately go for it. Say, no, I'm stabbing you now. I have a 10. You have 10 cards. I have 2. Like, I've got a 10 of hearts. I'm going to just leap on you and try to stab you in the fucking skull. Like, that's why I was kind of leading toward the beat me method, but I guess, like, the reverse roulette could also work. The idea, again, the problem with the reverse roulette is, how do you balance difficulty? That's the issue. And McDrew Salt, because you weren't here for reverse roulette, I'll explain that a little bit. The basic idea of the reverse roulette is the GM calls it difficulty. Let's say it's going to be suit. Whatever the suit is. I'm going to draw my hand. Let's say I have a 3 in something. I'm going to draw my 3 cards. I draw. Okay, we got a pretty good, mix up here. We got a pretty good, collection. Hand goes out and it flips. We have to match the suit of this. Obviously, we don't have that suit, but we have a joker, so we can play the joker on it and automatically succeed. All right. Now, these cards all get discarded. let's say another check pops up. We need to draw our 3 cards again. 1, 2, 3. And let's say it's black or red. That's all it is. That's all we need. We're going to succeed at this. We already know we're going to succeed at it. Cool. Ace of Hearts. We do that. Neato burrito. Easy peasy lemon squeeze. We don't got to worry about it. Oh no, it's a single. We legitimately need to get the same exact number. Oh no, this is bad. We need to get a 10 here. Obviously, if we don't get a 10, we would fail the check. That's kind of the basic idea there. It's like, how do you balance the difficulty around? Hence why I've been kind of back and forth on which of those 2 methods are the easiest to understand and like to quickly teach someone, as well as flow well into the combat. That's the big thing. How does this flow well into the combat? And that's why I was kind of thinking like the beat me method flows better into the combat because it's a little bit more direct. However, the reverse roulette is also a lot easier in understanding of like beating colors and things like that. That's kind of one of the things there. So it's like, okay, what's the best way of kind of doing this? Both have their ups and downs, both have their benefits, both have their drawbacks. So of my strongest rubber ducks, do you all have any opinions? I think it won't work. Fuck you, Noonie. Of course it'll work. I'm writing it. I just don't know how to write it properly. Like, it's... My one thing, again, the things that I'm slightly worried about is... Because once I start developing around it, it's pretty much... card games. I've written two different card games as the main resolution mechanic. One is reverse roulette, the other is a beat me method. Which both have their ups and downs. Hello, Draco. So, let me, Pain. Currently, I have 2 card game resolution methods. And I'm trying to figure out which one is the ideal method. If anyone would like me to re-go through the things again, I will do my best. Because y'all kept showing up just when I go through everything. I think I will keep the... Tell me about the cards. Tell me about the cards. The card games you plan to use. Yeah, okay. Again, you know what I'll do? I'll keep this a little bit easy. I will put this right here. We put this right here. Technically, if you want to do that, you can, in theory, just remove all of the, move all the cards up to a certain degree. The basic idea of reverse roulette is you're going to, GM says the difficulty is within 4, for example. Whatever the value of the card is, if you are within 4 of that value, you will succeed. So, he draws the lead card. We don't know what it is yet. We draw, let's say 3 cards as our skill rating. We check our cards out. All right, not great. We flip. Are any of our cards within 4? Obviously, the queen isn't. The 10 is not. The 3 is within 4. We have succeeded. That's all the roulette system is. And these cards go away or in kind of a discard pile as long as the scene is still going. The longer you're in a scene, the more these cards are actually going to be compromised. The basic difficulties are one color, same suit, within 5, 4, 3, 2, or a single. Pretty much you literally need to get the exact same number. There's a very few of them that can, there's only technically 3 which you have the chance of doing. So it's like, okay, let's draw. And kind of see what our cards would look like, depending on difficulties and all that. That's reverse roulette. Not very complicated, very easy to kind of understand. The beat me method, though, is, let's say we have a difficulty 2 check. We draw 2 cards. We draw 2 cards. We draw our 3 cards. Flip these over, and we flip our cards over. Kind of see right there. Now, what beats a 7? A joker beats a 7. What beats a king? Nothing beats a king. I cannot succeed at the check now because nothing beats the king. Damn. Now that you are on Tabletop Sim, how you set it to play games with minis? How do you play a game with minis? You well, first things what you do is you go here, components, figurines. Let's think. Actually, we'll do like player pawns. You just place down the player pawn and you move around. You can yeah, you just make whole buildings, or you just put minis and that's it. Yeah, if you want to do like terrain stuff, there's plenty of different things that you can do for like terrain like this, for example. And all you have to do is you hover over it, hit L, and it locks it in place so nobody can move it. Like, oh, cool, I'm going to put my mini right here. He's over here now. Or, oh, my mini's right here. There is a, let me see, options, grid. You can do grid, like show lines, and it's going to snap to the center. And now, every time I do something, it'll snap to the center of it, snap to the center of the grid, snap to the center of the grid. This isn't really a great map to do this on because it's kind of hard to see. But yeah. Yeah, it can get a little complicated at points if you want to do some like really precise things. But I wouldn't really recommend doing really precise things in Tabletop Sim. The advantage is you have an entire kind of table and like 3D movement to fuck around with things. It's very good for, how do I want to, it's very good for setting the scene, if that makes sense. Like, oh yep. Like, there we go. I think this is the most important. There, and also war games because those are pain. Yeah. I know quite a few people who play war games on it. Again, it just takes some time to set up. You can, I know there's at least a few videos on there. For Metal Saviors, what I would recommend is, I would recommend getting a bigger table one. You can download those pretty easily. You kind of see all the various, you know, various desks and things that I've used over time. But yeah, I would recommend doing that. Yeah, you can find a lot of free things. I uninstalled a lot of the free games I had. Like, yeah, I uninstalled quite a few of them, but I still have some of them. Like, I even have, yeah, technically I can load a bunch of things in, even though I kind of uninstalled them. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do with on this particular. But yeah, those are the two main resolution systems I was planning. Yeah, with minis you can just load and use. Yeah, easy. Yeah, if you want to like change the, depending on how you want to like change the map, there's a few ways to do it. You can actually make a custom table right here. Yeah, you can import custom tables. Just to make sure that everyone kind of understands if you want. Some are quite yes. Usually the big thing with like the Warhammer ones is they upload every single mini at once, and they're very big. And they are massive fucking file. What up, what up, what up? Isn't this a hell of a sight? Yeah, these are the primary ways that I plan on doing the resolution mechanic. Either the reverse roulette or the beat me method. The problem with the roulette system is that the difficulty is obtuse. Dobby has been given Balenciaga. Dobby is free. I love those fucking Balenciaga videos. They're the fucking best. Cause I'm very easy to entertain. I am very simple to entertain. Well, I love the Balenciaga videos. Dobby is free. Okay, so we want to do easy method is full deck. We'll do full deck, and we break it down into the full deck system is broken down. Full deck, we break it down into two separate categories. We either do, this is gonna, I'm gonna call this the main resolution. Full deck. Full deck. Which is either we're gonna use the reverse roulette or the beat me method. Which very simply put, value of the card is the most important. Value of the card is most important. If I want to do things correct, it would be ace, king, queen, jack, 10, 10, 10, 9, 8, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, ace, king, queen, jack, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and yeah, that would be it. Most value is the most important is the value of the card versus reverse roulette, which is the yeah, it's the relative value of the card is the most important. It's, do you feel like you have an advantage? Honestly, I think I get it. Why not come with a third bespoke card system? Maybe one that plays with a top card visible deck. For a while there, I was actually debating on removing all of the face cards where there's only value cards. Like, that's all you had was value cards. And resolving it from there. But then I was like, no, how do I then how do you interlink the actual, like, combat, like, styles and things, unless you just don't do that? The beat me method would also have that kind of card, like it would be the same idea behind it, but it would be a little bit more like counting dread with the beat me, because you really don't know what you're going to do. Both of them have that card counting aspect. Roulet's a little bit easier. It's a little bit more, how do I want to word this? It's the idea of, do you want sliding success with reverse roulette, or do you want sliding failure? Because reverse roulette, you have a lot more control over the difficulty. You have no control. The GM has no control over the difficulty for the beat me method. Because all it is taking the top card of the deck and looking at that. There's a chance that you're going to roll a fucking ace right off the bat, and there's nothing you can do about it. It could be a simple check, and you just flip it, and you have an ace. Does the idea of failing forward go against the idea of having failure, or is it just a way to keep the story going? I would say that there is two methods of failing forward. There's the pretentious way of looking at it, and there's the practical way. The practical way is, you fail a check, you go on to do the next thing. That's fine. That's failing forward. You break your lockpicks. You have to now look at things from a different angle. Hey, you failed to jump over the thing, now you're on the street, and now you have to deal with what's going on. That's the idea of practical failing forward. That's fine. Some of the failing forwards, like what they like to propose in some of these games, that like, let's talk about failing forward. Sometimes that gets into like kind of weird versions of it, like, oh, you managed to pick the lock, but the guard comes around the corner. I'm like, that's not really failure. It's like, it's less tied to the actual thing you're doing and more of the meta narrative surrounding it. That's sometimes what they want with failing forward, but like, if you're just doing it by practicality's sakes, that's fine. I don't think anyone cares if you do that. People care if you like do things completely unrelated. Hey, you miss swinging your sword, failing forward. You now have to worry about where your sword is. Like, esoteric failing forward is you've miss hitting someone with your sword, now they do a parry counterattack on you. It's like, that's not really me doing something, that's somebody else doing something because I failed. Which is always weird to me, it always doesn't feel quite right. But it can work, it's a mess. It's a mess in other exciting stories. Well, let's handle, like, if we do reverse roulette, currently this is the difficulty. One color, one same suit. If we do... Actually... one color. Easiest. Same suit. Effectively, if we want to do this right, you have a... if we do a 54 card deck, I'm having a stroke and I can't remember. 27. Effectively, you have a 50-50. Easy enough. Same suit. Same suit. You got a 1/4 chance. Easy enough to understand. It's not quite 1/4 because of jokers and stuff, but roughly speaking. One color, same suit. Within 5, within 5, or like anything within the value, that's where things start getting a little hectic. Because the chances start changing. I mean, if we do... Mm. Full deck of card. If we do within 2, effectively that would be, again, it's like, do you count aces as ones or do you count aces as? If we want, we can count aces high. Do we count aces high or do we count aces low? That's going to be another question. Sort of failing for is gaslighting players with incorrect information so they believe they succeeded, but not have. You don't gaslight your players all the time. Also, there's a way to win backwards, like your win costs so much issue or resulted in so much wasted resource, that failure might have been better. If so, how's that best shown at the table, at the tabletop? The big idea with, like, honestly, aces high and low may not be a bad idea in that idea. It's usually the case I see with that is rolling excessively high is you're burning more resources, and it's kind of like, it's kind of the you've rolled in such excess that you've wasted like resources. It's like, I've cast 17 spells and done 25 different things. All I needed to get was 15, but I rolled a 45. It's like nothing really accomplished much because there's only so much you can do. I've seen that happen a few times. It's just like, I've excessively gone over and completely mulched somebody. Yeah, ace crit. Yeah, I mean, if we treat aces as high and low, it was Emoclore, that was it. Emoclore had a very funny thing with that. And Emoclore's entire thing was you had one attribute which constantly grew, which was bad, because the more that attribute grew, the more it actually hindered you, which was really bad. Like, oh, like that's why you had catastrophic successes. That was a thing. And it was like, oh, you've done a catastrophic success, and that means like blatantly supernatural bullshit's going on. I guess we can do within 1 even. Because within 1 would be like this. Like that would be within 1. I need a obnoxious color to know. So that would be within 1. And then we do within 2. Actually, we'll take 7 here. So within 2 would look something even like this. Color. So that would be within 2. Within 3, so that would be using, we'll use within 3, we'll use 6 as an example. 1 2 3, 1 2 3. Technically, within 3 would look something like this. And then within 4 even, like if we base everything off of the 6, like 6 would be dead center effectively. So if we do like within even within, like, this is just within 3, within 4 it would look like that. Like legitimately almost everything would count for that. So like Roulette table. Roulette call, single zero wheel. So type of bets, inside bets. Lower mark. Actually, we could do something like that, but the thing is, we're not. Instead of having like a set value like this, we're instead working off something slightly different because we're working off whatever the lead card is. How powerful should magic items be in a game? Really depends on the setting. I like the idea of players can have super strong items that cause trouble as people want to steal it and use it against them. Same time they use it to break out of issues. It's the thing with magic items, it really depends on the situation and the setting and things like that. Because like if you have a setting where like, oh, a super powerful magic item is something that glows in the dark, then yeah, okay, like anything stronger than that is probably gonna catch some eyes. But if you have a setting which is like, oh hey, the magic glowing rock stone is mass produced to the point where everyone and their uncle has one, magic is gonna, like, magic items and stuff need to be pretty excessive or MacGuffin tier. Like, these are, like, very special by virtue of being magical. There are things, like, you can kind of get along in the middle. Generally ask yourself, in your setting, is Stormbringer a nightmarish entity that everyone's terrified about, or is it something that people can try to reasonably understand if they were confronted with it? For Stormbringer, for those who don't know, is Elric's sword. So, vertical or horizontal? Outside, but even or odd? Red or black, so easy enough. Rouge Noir, 1/18, 1936. Dozen bets. Column bet, snake bet. Oh god, that's weird. They had a new iced coffee at the corner store. It's honey bun. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure I like it. Tastes good. It's weird though. Poor man's roulette, peasant roulette, yeah. A bull. Monte Carlo paradox, a demon. The gambler, the gambler. I mean, Russian roulette. How difficult would it be to have items scale to the power of with the players? That's its own beautiful disaster area. would be the... Well, actually, what we can do is maybe we add in... Maybe we add in royals. Because the royals take up, let's, if I'm doing my math correctly, 10, 13 times 12. That would be 12 out of 52. That would be about 23% of the deck. So you would have a 12 out of 50, 12 out of 52 odds. That would be if we divided by I'm having, if we divide by 2, yeah, my fucking math's correct here, 6 out of, no, it wouldn't be 52, would it? It would be 54. So it would be 12 out of 50, 54 divided by 2. 20, that'd be 6 out of 27. 6 out of 27 divided by further 27 divided by 3. It would be 2 out of 9. So yeah, you would have about a 2 out of 9 chance rather than 50-50. So this would be 25, which within suit. Then we do royals. Not as good value. Like it's, you have a significantly, like, not. Did you make a manly for this stream? It's a generic manly. We want them new manly. You're gonna get a new manly when it's the game time. Not every single stream is gonna get a new manly. Sometimes we just need our classic Tiger Ball. Our strongest soldier. Game jam every month. There will be, most likely there will be a game jam next month. If only because I find it fascinating. At least put a Poland ball. Now Poland balls. At least that's from the wrong comic. But there might be a game jam next month. Don't quite know how I want to do that one yet. Next week I do plan on doing a design thunk. I am still trying to debate on like what would be the ideal design thunk to actually do. Because there's a few of them which make my own fucking game for me jam. Most likely, if I were to do it, I'm going to probably make the Mort Borgia jam. Where the Mort Borgia jam is take a game and then remake it in how you would do it. And I'm already going to be effectively saying, like, you don't need to give like a full comprehensive rundown. You don't have to do a complete rundown all for once. You just need to give me the basic idea as well as some core ideas. Wait, is Mort Borgia going to be any game and how we would do it? Yeah, any game of your choice. But it has to be one game of your choice and how you would rewrite it effectively from scratch. Everyone pick Fatal. And the big thing there is I would judge it entirely based on see, what I'd end up doing is either we do the Mort Borgia jam in which everyone has a very particular theme, like a very particular game. Now I need to make 3.5 rewrite and put it off, or and just being like put it off or put it there. Don't worry about it yet. Like don't start like I'm gonna come up with my brand new cool idea. It has to be pre-existing. That would be like my one thing. It has to be a legally distinct version of it. Just what if you just sent me a fucking Pathfinder remake? If I were to be creative with it, what I would do is you cannot tell me what you're actually working on. You wouldn't be able to actually tell me like this is a legally distinct copy of this, which the entire premise of it would be how much can you push there without really revealing what it is. Meme arrow outside of Mongolian basket weaving forms. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, yes, I am inventing a new version of gambling, Lubu. I say we drop within 4. If we drop within 4, we would just have to deal with 3, within 3, which would be in a... the 13 card lineup. So let me do this. Let me do my math here a little bit. The 13 card lineup, you would have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Roughly, at best, 7 options to do that. And it's about half. Half of any result would technically be a valid choice, but we already kind of have that. I mean, do we drop 3 and we just do it like within like 1 or 2? If we do it within 1 or 2, so this would be pretty demanding already. Like, there would be some overlap, but if we do, let's see, 5 out of 13, and 5 out of 13, which would be 38%. This is 25%. This is 50%. So technically, like, within the value would be within. We do within 1. Because this would be the royals. You would need to draw a royal. That's the big thing there. You would need to draw a royal. Which, alright, easy enough to understand. That's how you beat the... Actually, one color, same suit. Doesn't work. We wouldn't be able to use the royal because we would... Within 3, 2, and 1, because the thing is, we do not know. If we're being precise about this, the problem is we don't know what the lead card is going to be. We don't know what this is. And because we don't know what this card is, we have to make an assumption that whatever we draw can be anything. So we say, hey, 50-50. Okay, cool. We match same suit within 3, within 3, 2, 1, and then same value. Same value, you have the absolute lowest possibility of rolling correctly. And because this is just decreasing. Within 3, that would be 3 out of 12 3 out of 13. I see 3 out of... It would be 3 out of 12. And no, it would be 13 out of 3 out of 13. 3 out of 13. That would be our base value. Okay, but then aces are here because aces would count. Technically, aces count here. Aces also count here. They're bigger than a king, but they can also be within a 2. So okay, that's values get shifted around here. I'm like doing fucking math in my. It's just the biggest one available. So it's but like a queen isn't going to be within 2 of the ace. That's going to be kind of thing. Like the aces is high and low. Like it depends on your circumstance. Okay. All right. All right. Actually, we can do equal value, equal color. That would be the absolute hardest. So if we want to do difficulty, like easy would be 1 color. Would be actually a rouge. It would be a rouge and rouge et noir. Rouge et noir. That is easy. Rouge et noir. Medium would be same suit. Hard would be within. So hard would be within like. Equal color value. So, using our incredible mathematics, using our friend Tabletop Simulator, to give an idea of what the difficulties would be. So, here's 10. We want to draw easiest difficulty, red, it would just be black. All we would need to do is rouge et noir. We do this, we fail. This would not be correct. Yeah, there we go. This would be a victory. We would have succeeded. Next would be same suit. Wrong. Right. So this would be a success. Same suit. Then it would be within 3. Joker, technically a victory, but also yeah, within 3. Not within 3. Actually, 4. Yeah, no, 10, 9, 8, 7. That would be incorrect. King within 3. Cool. That would be a victory. Within 2. This would be within 2. Then we do within 1. Impossible. That would be still a failure because it would loop all the way back around. No. Technically a success. Failure. Success. There we go. Same value. It would be same value. Same value. That's all we need. Is the same valued of card. There we go. We would have succeeded here. which this would also be the only card in the same color, same value. This would be there was only going to be one card, technically, one natural card that would fit. If you get the 10 of spades, the absolute most difficult card to get would be a 10 of clubs for you. And there's a chance that you will be fucked over regardless. Okay. That makes sense, right? Yes. Yes, this is reverse roulette. It's with the difficulty in place, I would say most attributes are going to fall within about 3 to 4. Those are what's going to be most attributes are going to be. So you're going to be drawing three to 4 cards. You're going to compare it. You're going to say, all right, what's the lead? You're going to flip the lead. You don't know what the lead is. You don't know if you've succeeded or not. Or should we know what the lead is, then flip? Yeah, okay. I'm leaning. Okay. Okay, this is making sense. This is making sense. So if we do this within 3, I need to fix these up. These 3 would be the hard bit, because this is going to be like, I think a vast majority of the actual gameplay is going to be within kind of this medium to like hard range, because like this doesn't seem too difficult, but then it's like, yeah, you have a third of the chance of doing this. Yeah, actually you have a fourth of a chance of actually getting the same suit with every pull, which if you don't roll very well, you know, don't draw very well. Yeah, okay. You know what? I'm down with this. We're going with reverse roulette. I think that's going to be the best option. And then what we should do, which we're going to do ace 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 king queen, actually no, it would be jack queen king ace. So regardless, aces count for pretty much extremes in both angles. So no, that actually balances out within 2, within 3, because suddenly, yeah, if you're within 3 and 2, technically you could also use a king, because it would just loop around. Actually, what do you do? No. Rolling a 2 on like rolling low and even rolling high on those wouldn't be that ideal. But yeah, we can just treat aces are going to be the special thing. Aces are special. Just aces. Okay. This is the basic mechanic. Like we just do like more valid cards for success. I'm a little bit afraid that this is going to feel a little awkward. My one fear is that this is going to feel very comparatively awkward when we shift over to combat. I'm a little worried about that, but okay, Miro just crashed. Let's reopen Miro. Yeah, Miro doesn't like the giant card deck. Okay, we're gonna make the giant card deck lots smaller. Okay, so we do shifting from, I mean, I guess that there's one way to do, I mean, that's easy enough to look like. Combat, on the other hand, is actually quick exchange of skill and combat is a quick exchange of skill and luck, divided between fighters draw for initiative. Whoever wins gets the advantage of placement. Like, combat's gonna feel very different from the actual core mechanic, and is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing necessarily? That that's gonna be a very different kind of game, because it's gonna be comparative. Unless we can integrate the stick with your guns, stick with your guns. Okay. Find or draw whoever gets placement. Divided into three, which is going to be left, center, right. Left, center, right. Divided into 3 sections. Left, you're going to be on your left, you're going to be on your center, and you're going to be on your, and it's going to be on your right. You want to parry a blow. You're pretty much drawing blades, drawing swords, drawing knives, or whatever, with the full intention of just quickly stabbing a motherfucker, right? It's a lot more, it's skill and luck in this instance. So if we do this, when initial places in LC in LR in LC or LC in LC or R. Pretty much you place down where the alternate. Initiative winner. Initiative winner chooses opening move. Let's see. When all cards are played, initiative winner chooses opening move. You're either going to strike left, center, or right. Which basic idea here is... Mm. 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 There we go. So that's the basic draw of combat. You draw your initiative. You draw. Both have a draw for initiative. Someone maybe more talented is going to draw 2 cards and take the highest kind of thing. It's okay. I'm quite skilled. I roll a 6. You got a 2. I go first. I'm going to draw up to whatever my combat skill is. Let's say I have a combat skill of 4. You have a combat skill of 4 as well. Both draw both of our hands. I've got a bullshit hand. You've got a better hand than I do. You don't know that though. So I look at my hand and I say I'll place first. Place it right on the right. It's your turn now. You look at your cards. You place yours on the left. I look at mine. I'm going to say place mine on the left. Right. I say, all right, I'm going to place one center. Place one right. My final one left. You play one right center. I look at this and say, okay, how do I since I won the initiative, I get to choose. Let's say right. I flip over mine. I've got an 8 attack. You've got a jack. You've got a jack of spades. I've got an 8 of hearts. That means I'm doing 8 damage to you. What does the jack do? No fucking idea yet. Absolutely no idea. Part of me wants the face cards, the royal cards, to do something to augment. Like, if you have a queen, it counts as, like, a bonus or something. Let's... Like, if you have a queen, that means you get something else out of it. Or you get a jack, you get something else out of it. We do... double value of suit. So if you have the king of spades in there, and you have the king of spades and 2 of spades, you have 4 technically, but it doesn't provide any value itself. Queens, what would a queen do? I don't know. Jacks and jokers and aces. We go under the idea that jacks are gonna be... Jacks are versatile. Using here, we may as well use it. What did jacks do in Parts of Darkness? Let's see. Kings, queens, give another player a reroll. Jacks, reroll their dice. What's your go-to? You can kill this enemy with and feel no remorse. Bad guy or mook for the majority of people that won't about it. Kind of depends on the game. If you're going for more modern, like very clearly like just a terrible human being, usually like a serial killer or something like that. Like, hey, it's a serial killer. Hey, it's a rapist. It's like something like that. Like clearly just a bad guy. Fantasy, demons. I usually go for the undead are usually a pretty good sign. Usually demons, the undead. If you want to get a little bit more creative and depending on how you write them, things like orcs and goblins and stuff. Usually it's things like that. Like they're pretty easy to make things. Science fiction, usually an evil murder race. Like every single science fiction one has it, and in Mass Effect it was the Batarians, and I like the Batarians. Kill Batarians, roundhouse kick Batarians, punt a Batarian child. I wish I could do it again. Jesus. Jacks add. Jacks are minor, they add a bone. Means are read. Top deck a card, add it to the section. You just top deck a card, value 0. It's technically, so the queen's entire idea is that if you have a fate card available, you can immediately switch it out. Because it's not technically in your hand, you've already played it, so but you're always eyeballing it. The queen's debatable value. I don't know how queen. Ace's Mimic. Maybe something like that. Having attack power and spell usage or lock mine cards you deal out to players of 2 video gamey. Depends on how it's handled. It could be a little bit, it could be a little awkward. Speaking of cars, is there a good way to mix TCG elements into TTRPGs without really literally doing the Monty? TCGs? No, you have to do the booster pack thing. Not gonna lie. TCGs, that is. If you want to do that, you need to quite literally abuse the TCG whale market. That's the entire point. Like Monty Cook wants to sell you feats in booster packs because that's going to let him, you know, exploit you for money. That's the entire point. That's the reason they did that. The face cards are more about placement than anything. Queen, I'm not happy with Queen. I am really not happy with Queen there. Because the entire idea of the Jack is that you're just allowed to top deck. It's like you say, okay, I'm not feeling too hot. I top deck the Joker. I top deck and just resolve its effects. It might not be useful for me. It may not be good for me. It may actively hurt me or it may actively do nothing. It's a gamble. Queens, on the other hand, feels like there should be something there, but I don't know what it would be. I guess like maybe knockout. Maybe knock out one of like something else on the other side. Steal a card. Maybe that would. I mean, that could work. Like aces are just gonna be valued the largest card. Again, this is why I'm like, combat's gonna feel very different from the actual core resolution mechanic, and that's something I'm not like 100% involved in. I'm not entirely ballin'. But I mean, combat by itself usually feels different. That's how I'm justifying this. Thank you very much for resubscribing, Painkiller Jane. In that case, LCG elements. I'm mostly stuck in a way to make card game elements. I want to go whole hog on it. The big thing when it comes to like card game is you have the idea of it's chaotic. Unless you're using it as like unless you're using it more in line of like reference material, like here's a card you put by your character and you look at it being like, this is my reference for an ability I have. Like cards are supposed to be just a randomizer. That's all it is. That's all they are, is a randomizer. And that randomizer allows you to randomly determine what's going on. Hey, I've drawn my 3-cost fireball. I'm going to cast my 3-cost fireball this turn. Awesome. I've drawn my Lucan's, you know, giant cock and ball torture technique card. I tap 2 of my fucking samurai and I do it. I've, you know, got this. I'm going to plug it into my board. I've got this. I've drawn a thing to do a thing now. It enables more options. Unless you go down a, unless you go down like one of those routes where like everything is either like consumable cards or they're like very basic abilities, or you're supposed to Voltron things constantly, then maybe. But then you end up like, Honestly, if you want to do something like that, you'd be looking at something like a roguelike, one of those roguelike deck building role-playing games. I don't really call them RPG. But you'd be looking at one of those, possibly. With the entire concept being build up, like, controlling your deck so you always draw the best things. That's why I usually don't use cards for most things, just because it gets a little bit funky. This is our basic... This would be the basic checks and things. You'd be doing the reverse roulette. Combat, though, is here. How do you represent more? How do you faint? Guys, please. Oh, bad notepad. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? Hmm. No, that was Polish saber fighting. Thank you very much. Polish saber fighting is very different. Um, fuck. I mean, is that a thing? L5R katana duel. I'm like, mm, mm. I guess we could do something in the lines of maybe we change everything over to a variety of like talents you pick up or something. You bring it up to a variety of talents or something similar to that. So when you do get into a fight, you have more control over your hand. You have more control over your hand. You have more control over the actions you're allowed to commit. Not just your... if you were using a, let's say, two-handed weapon or something, and you're really scared, let's say you have the feint ability. You place down your cards, you're like, okay, I've got the feint ability. Everyone flips over, and you see, okay, he's got like a massive amount of attack. He's got a massive attack coming my way. I've got a red though, a red 9. I can convert this into defense only. I'm taking away my offense with it, but I'm just replacing with defense. So like maybe you can convert like hearts to defense, or convert all red into defense on one section, something like that. So clink, 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 I've blasted you, I've done that. I've, pretty much deflected the blow a little bit. HEMA guys are... HEMA guys are nuts. Every single big HEMA guy I've met, absolutely bonkers. See, this is the thing that I'm getting caught up on. It's like, how do you actually mix in some of the more exotic stuff? Unless we do it entirely equipment based. That is a very valid option. Like, you just have equipment and you just do that. And you don't really have like special techniques or anything, because these are supposed to be kind of like brawls, effectively. This is, you find someone you want to fuck up, you find someone they want to fuck up, and you start wailing on one. Which, I do know how multiple combatants are supposed to kind of play out. I mean, this might seem like, wow, this seems impossible with multiple combatants. But the entire idea with it would be... yeah, let's just draw out the map again, just because it's a little bit easier to... I keep doing... there you go. There's our three sections. if we want to say, let's say I'm getting attacked by let's say I'm getting attacked by 2 people, you are at a severe fucking disadvantage. Like, you are not having a good time. Let's just draw our cards real fast. Because the thing is, it's going to end when you choose to end, but they're going to be alternating back and forth. So everyone's going to be placing down about the same amount of cards. But, you know, instead of that, it's like, okay, the enemy has, you know, we see that one, we see a second enemy perhaps. We see 2 enemies, you know, fighting me. I'm like, okay, I've won the initiative against them. I'm going to, like, just go. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to put my 7 there. And he's like, okay, I'm going to put this there. I'm going to put the ace there. He's putting this guy is going to put this over here. I'm going to put this right here. He's going to put it right here. We'll put that right there. He goes, he's want to double down on the right. And then I choose to put the jack down there. These guys won't be able to bring any more to the field. But there's a problem. There's a problem. They have a lot more options to think about with. They've got 10 cards to fuck around with. I've got 5. So now it's like, okay, you know, we flip and, oh, okay, you know, he ignores all my attack. Okay, so he doesn't take any damage there. He does this, but I have to top deck with my joker. I block all the damage there. I got 14. He just had a king. Cool. Nothing happens. You know, we are good. However, I, you know, grab up all the cards. This gets discarded effectively. I'm gonna draw up to my hand again. They're gonna draw up to their hands again. So it's one of those things, like, they can just wear you down. Because, like, oh, well, we're feeling pretty confident, and they can obviously discuss among each other. They know. Isn't this just less complicated Magic? The fuck? No. Like, this is very different from Magic, unless it's, like, a card game. But yeah, the basic idea of how combat actually plays it, I'll just do a 1v1. This is what this game's kind of built around, 1v1. Is I don't know what he has over there. He doesn't know what I have over here. But I'll flip over my cards. This is my current collection of cards. This is what I actually have here. This is what he has. Now, let's say I win the initiative. Cool, go me. I'm doing really well. I look at my hand, I'm like, man, I'm in, my life is fuck. I'm gonna put down this right here. And he, you know, it's his turn. He's looking at his cards. He's like, okay, I'm going on the defense a little bit. I'm gonna put you right there. I wouldn't be able to see that. He wouldn't be able to see me. My turn again. Not good. Gonna put this right here. Go hard on the left. All right, I'm gonna put you right there. I'm not feeling confident what's going on. He's going. Put it right there. I put it right there. He puts it right there. I look over here. I put it right here. He goes like this. We then reveal, depending on whatever side that I feel confident in. I look at this, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna flip on the left. We flip it on the left. I completely ignore his attack or defense. He has only 10. He has got a 10 over there. I ignore his. We ignore it together, and suddenly, oh no, we don't do anything to it. We literally parry one another. Like, we try to, like, block one another. He chooses the second. He's like, okay, I feel good over here. I just have a queen. And if we look over here to what queens do, immediately switch out for a fate card. Let's just say I have a fate card over here. I swing out for the fate card. I take a total of 10 damage. Because he's got a 10 of hearts there. He immediately stabs me in my fucking side. I'm probably going to die here. We flip the center. I have an ace. Aces don't do anything. They're only worth the highest value, so I technically rolled an 8. So I rolled a 4 offense, 4 defense. He went defensive. How this would look in combat is I swing, we kind of parry each other to the left. He swings to the right real fast, rips my side open really nasty. Completely rips my side open. I go for kind of a meek stab in the middle. We recoil back. We take our cards. We go home. I'm not doing too hot. He has the clear advantage now. That's kind of the basic of how combat actually handles itself. Multiple combatants it's a little bit of like reducing value, because you're only going to be doing like whoever has the whoever has when the single person runs out, then everyone gets to dogpile on them. But it's also like, oh hey, wait, this is Runia combat. Never played Runia. Honestly, you've got something for me to work with, Sterner. Now's the time to fucking tell me. Now is the time. Like, is Runia combat the thing that I need? Is this cards? I mean, this isn't... Oh, it's dice. Oh. Yeah, this isn't really what I'm looking. I mean, let me... Yeah, it's... There are some slight differences. Most notably, it's... Effectively, here, I'm seeing that, like, you see, like, oh, there's... Pretty much there's 3 defenses, there's 2 defenses, and a bunch of counter die. Unless I choose to... Yeah, yeah, that's kind of the idea. I'm like, honestly, I'm looking at anything that might be handy here. I mean, if we... One thing I was thinking about for, like, abilities and such is, like, depending on whatever, like, value you got, you could sub out the value or to do something with it, if that makes sense. Like, hey, you've got 5 offense on here, you can do 5 damage. Evade die recycling, like... Again, now's the time to tell the family. I mean, unless I start breaking it down into... Okay, you want to hear absolute autism. Hear absolute. What we could do is those cards also do something different. It would be like the best way to think about it is clubs and spades technically both give you defense, but they're different kinds of defense. Clubs are parrying, spades are dodging. Evasion. Dodging out of the way, I am parrying with my blade. And that's how you kind of reduce damage, is like, hey, I'm dodging or I'm parrying. And it's more about like trying to beat the value with a certain kind of die. And mix and match things together, or Like a particular defensive is weak, but if you win, you can use it on the next clash and so on. You're too slow. That could work. I mean, it's because one of the ideas behind weapons. I mean, I guess we could do something like that for when it comes to like different kinds of weapon damage and stuff. Like the weapons literally have. You want. Like, even things like, for example, like I have a like let's say I have a let's say I have a buckler, like a buckler and an arming sword. We know for a fact the buckler is, you know, any defense is going to be blocked. You know, any spade, you know, defense spades get a +1. We know that because we have a buckler, any defense spades, which are kind of blocks. Blocks get a +1, so we have a little bit of an advantage over there. And our EVAs get, and we're... If you want to add some real complexity, each card can have 4 different effects, and at the start of the round fight, you draw a card, and it suits to 4 effects you're playing with that fight. We're not going that deep. We still need to make the game fun, Noonie. Like, we still need to make the game entertaining. But what we could do... I'm trying to... It'd be arming sword would be hearts, and diamonds are slashing. Cutting. While having a buckler would mean spades. Spades are evasion, and clubs are blocking. And by virtue of having a buckler, that means we get +1 to our clubs. Any clubs we use with this have a +1 on them. While our evasion doesn't do anything, but maybe abilities like you can only evade this, you can do that, maybe fuck. There's got to be a card game. I mean, there's got to be a game out there that does this. What am I looking for? What am I... What's there? There's got to be a game like this. I know for a fact. Like, there has to be... Like, is there no, like, fencing card game? Like... Unguard. Hello. Like, board game, choosing tactic skill and bit of luck to win his best fencer. Teach yourself concept basic game. Teach yourself standard of the air. Parry your past. I'm not even factoring in, like, movement. Like, I guess if we want to add a little bit of... Mm. 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 Let's see, character's abilities by multiplying strength and constitution. Those are carried out by secret recording a sequence of 12 turns, each turn consisting of a single action. Action, for example, under this is a rest, a lunge, rest. Mm. One other dueling game. I've made one dueling. I reference that. Why don't I reference that, Notepad? Because you're a fool! You're a silly, silly boy, Notepad. You make silly, silly mistakes and forget to reference things you already fucking wrote because you're a goblin. You're a silly little goblin. Gobble, gobble. Mm. Mm. Adrenaline, so let's see, adrenaline. Breaking down a round. Stand off, both parties circle one another to determine the stance and style. This also gives +1 to AD from a spell. Each part of the battle is broken down, the individual clashes, allowing the character to distribute their offensive AD into different strikes and repair. Style, short style, stance. Strikes. Opponent has passive defense, and they assigns a number of their passive defense to block the blow. Could be it scores more success in passive defense. This is attacking, scoring unequal successes. Bow, challenge or roll, and the highest amount of successes has to attack go through. Tricks. Strike allow them to extra change the strategy plan thing. Combat trick. Mm. Mm. Plant riposte. So you're just countering. I mean, this is. Mm-mm. Mm. Mm. There we go. Anything else you do, we can assign to a trait or a ability which you need to build up a certain amount of card value to do. If I have 5 spades, if I build up 5 evasion, I can keep one of my cards on the field. How about that? If I build up, you know, X amount of this, I can keep something on the field a little bit longer, or I knock out one of your cards. I do something by virtue of being who I am. We add in a couple of these techniques and we tie everything together. Okay. Alright. Alright. That can work. We keep things simple. It doesn't need to be complicated. This is just sword fighting. It doesn't need to be complicated. It's just sword fighting. Dishonorable tactics and all that bullshit. How do we do that, though? I want to kick you in the dick. Okay, let's just call a spade here. I want to kick you in your dick. We are dueling. We are, you know, going back and forth. I've on guard, asshole. And I see the moment. I kick you in the dick. What happens? I guess we can do. Yeah, I guess we can still tie it to, like, ignoble abilities and things like that. In which case, yeah, okay. Which we are going to use the fates. We will use the fates. Sword bastards minus what we'll do. Sword bastards. Sword bastards. Yeah, there we go. Fate spread. I wouldn't really call it. There's probably a better name for it, other than just this fate spread. But that's all we really need to worry about for now. So if we want to see what a character, what is a sword bastards? What would be attributes of a necessary sword bastard? Let's think about ourselves. I think having bravado is appropriate. You know, just kind of like you being a jackass. Bravo is this term we're looking for. his body or something similar to, like, effectively this is going to be our charisma slash panache. You know, panache, that's gonna, body is going to be our strength and size, I guess. I mean, gotta be something here. Brawn, finesse, rule, panache. Brawn, finesse, solve. Let's see, we can do actually brawn hearts. Finesse would be diamonds. Will is actually will we will do. You don't necessarily need to tie it all here, but this is what we're going to be doing like this. We can make this clubs. Actually, no, we'll do will be hearts. And then we need to do something intelligence-based, something that really ties it to the idea of, like, you are... card in the sleeve or something. Yeah, that's kind of what the Fate deck is supposed to represent, is like, you're cheating effectively. You're bringing a card in that you really shouldn't. So maybe that'll work. What bastardry did I miss? I made a new card game. To give you an idea, Ethical, of the raw amount of autism currently going on. Yeah, no, we're hitting new levels. I'm trying to figure out attributes now. And I even have welcome aboard. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. As usual, you know how this goes. Like, what would be a good thing to be like, this is how smart you are, and you're like already not really being super smart. Like, brain power, reasoning. I guess reasoning could work. I mean, if we use the idea of brawn is clubs, diamonds hearts, and then we do spades. Because reason isn't necessarily, because you're in like low tier society. Like, you're not cool people. You're sword bastards in every single way. You know, in every single definition of the word, you are a sword bastard. Brawn, which is going to be strength, con, etc. Finesse, agility, dexterity, etc. Will, which is going to be mostly a reason, on the other hand, is bastardry, on the other hand, is roguish behavior and notoriety, you're gonna roll for your first 4. You're not gonna roll for bastardry. Bastardry is going to increase naturally. That's the thing. Just the more of a bastard you are, the more of a terrible human being you are, the more you're going to be able to draw anytime you're pulling shit. And the more times the harder it's going to be to avoid notoriety. If you fucking kill someone in the streets and everybody sees you, everyone's going to know you're a bastard. Like, you kind of want to keep this low, but you also want to be like, yeah, I'm the big dick on campus. I am the biggest dick here on this area. I will kill you. I am the scariest person in the room. Do not fuck with me. I am the I am the danger. So it's like, oh, okay, he is the danger, and I don't want to fuck with the guy who's going to kill me. We can work these out later, but combat skill is equal to brawn plus actually okay guys, I have an idea. I have an idea. We apply different combat skills. What we can do is we can make this not entirely just sword fighting. We can make this anything really, because of how easy it is to understand. We shift this over to like your combat skills. Debate fighting and we can probably just fucking that. No, we do combat styles. No, combat styles, in which we can probably do kind of like a circle a little bit, like what beats what. Since we have 4, we want to be specific about things. So the idea would be that if we want to be specific, clubs beats me punching you in the face beats spades. Spades beats diamonds. Diamond hands. Diamonds beats heart. Beats club. No. Spades beats heart. And beats heart. Beats diamond. Beats clubs. Clubs beats spades, beats hearts, beats diamonds, clubs. So that would be spades, hearts, diamonds, clubs. We do things in a circle. So even if you're really smart, so it's not necessarily... I think asymmetry is more fun. Why not diamonds beat 2 out of 4, hearts beat diamond, heart is beat by all suits. Oh god, that would be embarrassing. My fear there is that people would immediately start. My fear there is that people would then just power level the one thing and bitch and moan millisecond. Half millisecond, they didn't get their. Be like, me no want this. I mean, it also encourages. I mean, if we want to. That's what someone recommended with rock, paper, scissors. But the problem is, and as I would like to inform him about that, there are 4 suits. Why not? I mean, what would be the Trump suit? That's the issue. That's the issue is, what's the Trump suit? Also, your suit line doesn't say if spades beats diamonds or diamonds beats spades. They wouldn't. That'd be the thing. Some of them are just going to be matched against one another. Being like, yeah, you bring out, if you're, let's say for example, you're like spades versus diamonds or something. So spades, your reason versus finesse or something similar to that. I'm not taking a penalty to you. You're not taking a penalty to me. We're both just looking each other in the eye and we're then going at each other. We're pretty evenly matched in that regard. I wonder. User rank and trick taking. Typically, an entire suit is nominated as a Trump suit. Suits then outrank all cards of the plain non-Trumps. Torampu. I'm thinking that's the issue. Because this is just kind of a fucking idiot idea. This is just a fucking idea. The basic concept is that instead of just having like combat skill be its own independent attribute or just be like based off bastardry, instead each of the attributes are going to be tied to their own unique combat skill. With their own unique combat skill, you at the beginning have to make a decision. Hey, I want to hop into this kind of combat style. I'm hopping into this combat style. I can do things with this. I'm going to get an advantage against one suit's going to be beating me. So pretty much the idea being, if I'm going to be really fast, the person taking their time and actually watching my movements is going to kick my ass. But the person who is not really watching my movements, I'm going to be able to win. I'm going to get an advantage. They're going to get a penalty. However, the problem is, if you're too well known for doing that, someone's going to immediately switch into a stance where you're going to get a disadvantage on it, and they get an advantage on it. So it's kind of like that back and forth kind of thing, which we could actually use to tie to the queen, for example, which is just going to be like, I want to switch into stance or something like that. The issue is currently all of them beat one another in a circle. Effectively, that's kind of the current thing. They beat one another in a perfect circle. Where it would be heart. It's a heart diamond. So heart, diamond, club, spade. So it'd be effectively heart will always beat diamond, diamond will always beat club, club will always beat spade, spade will always beat heart. So pretty much you would get, if we apply this here, heart +1. Heart +1 against diamond. Diamond +1. Diamond play, heart +1, diamond +1, club, +1. Yeah, pretty much you have just a raw advantage if you are fighting people, and they have a raw disadvantage. Or maybe I just use a basic combat skill and just call a spade a spade. I don't know if Nooney's actually telling the truth or he's just being Nooney. I don't really know. See, that's always the funny part. Maybe this is a terrible idea. Or everything I'm thinking of. Ha ha ha. Ha ha. Stick with your guide. Ha ha ha. No, fuck. Well, if we want to be specific, what we can do is we can actually add in a stamina, which is kind of like a meta, it's somewhat like a meta currency. The idea that you can spend it to draw more cards for any check. However, this is also going to be your overhealth. Pretty much you're burning your overhealth to do that. Your health is a little bit more complicated. Either we go in directional health, We can either go with directional health, or we can go with wounding health. Those are my two ideas. Directional health is someone stabs forward, they stab me in my eye socket, I die immediately. Hey, someone stabs me in my leg, I'm not going to die immediately, but I'm not moving at all anymore. That's kind of the idea. It's more about like your leg going away. It's more about your arm going away. More about like targeting like limbs. Or we shift it over to or we do it based on wounds, in which case is like you take a 10 damage wound, you've taken a severe wound, or not doing good. Like you are literally just bleeding to death currently. Please get help. That could work. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. I am gonna call it here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hammer out the rest of my basic notes. If I feel confident, it's like if I feel confident, we will start on Wednesday. I'm feeling pretty good right now. It's just some little things that are just not clicking. I'm trying to figure out how best to click things together. So that's the plan.